I did the human dog.
What's the what?
The what?
Is that?
Human what?
Human dog.
Like human dog?
Yeah. That's what the health checkup's called in Japan, the bonus one.
Oh,
Ningen doku.
Yeah, but it's which is ningen dogu. It's like dogu.
No, doku.
No, it's dogu.
No.
Yeah, look at it.
No, it's
You're just making shit
No,
up.
the English version that they sent me, they sent me English and they said, oh, it means doku.
ningen doku だよ. Like
Dude.
doc as in like
Yeah, but,
human dog.
no,
You make it sound like a
they
I
sent
did
me,
the human dog.
they sent me the English version, so and it just said human dog.
No, it's doc as in like doctor.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they meant, but I just
Sound
kept
like a
calling
questionable
Yeah.
I
position.
just kept calling it human dog. So I did
That's
that.
something very different.
I did that, and I signed up because I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck it, give me the big boy health check, give me everything.
Like cover everything.
How's your
Yeah.
cholesterol
Yeah.
doing?
You know.
Is it better?
Listen.
Is it better than last year?
We're joined together in that fact. Okay. What's your cholesterol?
It's unspeakable.
Yeah, mine too. I've
Shit.
been C3 now.
It broke the measurement tool.
Yeah.
You're C3 now?
It's always been C3
Oh, okay. Oh, damn.
That's
in Japan.
3 times the
That's still the
cholesterol.
worst. Yeah, but you know it's fine. So I did the full health checkup, which
Yeah.
involved a few more things than
The human
normal
dog.
health checkup,
Yeah.
which involved the barium swallow.
Oh,
I've never done
stool
that.
test.
Yeah, you know, because I was actually kind of worried about my stomach. So I was like, why am I getting sick all the fucking time?
Because you eat
Yeah.
fucking expired food.
I wonder why.
It's fire though.
Your fridge is full of like
Yeah,
moles.
this it says it's expired in 2023, but it's probably
it's
good.
fine. It'll do though.
Still tastes good.
Yeah. So
It's a mindset.
it's a grind set. So I did that, and I'd love to. When are you doing this? Because you have to do it at a certain age.
I just get depression when I do it. I don't
Have you done the barium swallow?
Not the. That sounds really wrong. Who wants a barrier?
Do you want to describe what happens?
So normally in a Japanese health checkup, you have like 8 things that you'll do on like a conveyor belt in about 30 minutes. It's really impressive, actually. It's very efficient.
Yeah.
You'll do like a blood pressure test, which is not very useful. Because apparently blood pressure, you're only supposed to take it after sitting down for 5 minutes. So you even standing up to walk over to go do it. It will
really?
raise your
Oh.
blood pressure to the point where that test is pretty much useless.
Oh.
That would explain a lot.
Well, I
That's why my blood pressure is 3 times higher than it
course.
needs to
Yeah.
be. Oh
You do like a height and weight test. You know, they also compare you to your previous results, which is great. Love that. You'll do like a blood test. You'll go over and do a hearing test, a vision test. I had a bonus one in this one where I had to do they scanned my eyes. They blew like a thing in my eye.
Oh.
Like they blow air in your eye and then take a picture of your like retinas, I think.
Oh,
see if you've got like
that's normal.
tumors and stuff
But it's not normal
sometimes.
for the normal health checkup.
Yeah. I have to do that every time I get like new
I've never done
prescription.
that. So I was like, whoa.
Well, they also do like X-ray and like cardiography.
So you do
and
the
stuff
you
like
normally do an X-ray. You'll do a cardiography where they attach
Yeah.
your suction. I did the thing that you do when you're pregnant. They put
Right.
she was like, it's gonna be cold. I was like, what? And she squirts this thing all over my stomach and starts rubbing in like the.
Out of context, that
Oh.
sentence. It's going to be cold, she said, and squirted all over my
I
stomach.
was like, what? I was like, okay.
Human dog.
And she's
I was like, yes, mommy.
now I'm doing the human dog. Sumimasen. And then she's like, roll over, boy. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I roll to my side. She'll scan it. She's like, no, more. And then I roll over on my back. She's and
And
then,
now bark for me.
yeah, it was weird. It was very weird. And then I had to go and do go to the doctor's office, and she's like, "When was the last time you shit yourself?" I was like, this morning. Okay, you're good then. And then you go into this room. You go into this room with like, it looks very like scientific. There's like this torture chamber-esque looking thing,
Okay.
all white, and it looks like a monstrosity of a machine. It looks terrifying. And then she's like, right. And she's trying her best to speak English to me. And I'm like, Japanese is okay. She's like, geppu shiteru. I was like, oh, shiteru. It's like to burp.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, she's like, drink this and do not burp. No burping. I was like, okay.
That's impossible for you.
Yeah.
I was like, no, fuck off.
That's all you do.
Fuck off,
Off camera.
I do not, but- So I was like, well, how hard can it be? So I drink this substance, which is like a powder almost. It kind of reminds you of like sherbet. I drink the sherbet, and I'm like, oh God. Immediately, I need to rip the biggest burp of my life. It's like a level 9 burp, like a full stomach burp. I was like, oh my God. It's like, I go stand on this like torture device. So I go on this thing, and then they strap you in.
What the
Ankles and hands. And then she's like, now drink this. And I'm like, oh God. She's like, it's not going to taste good.
It's like how they made Captain America.
Yeah. And it's like pure glue. It's just pure like chalk. Like it's a viscous substance that has no flavor and it's just viscous.
Right.
So you have to drink the whole thing. And then they're like, all right, now we're going to spin you. And so they start spinning you. They start rotating you and like flipping you upside down and back to coat your stomach and all this thing. And if you burp, it fucks with it. So this whole time you're being spun around, you're like holding in the most intense burp of your life.
Right.
And then eventually you're done. And I was like, Kepu, she's like, yeah. And I go, like the biggest burp. And she laughed. So then she goes, all right, now take this. And then gave me laxatives. Just shit out the
Now
barium.
shit yourself. When's the last time you shit yourself?
Literally about to make the joke of shit yourself.
Yeah.
So she goes, and so I go, oh, see what's in on Nanji Gurai laxative. And she goes, you have 1 hour. I was like, oh, and my home's about 30 minutes away. I was like, you know what? I think I got it. So I go home. On the halfway home, I'm like, I'm walking home, cheeks tucked in, like a vice grip. I'm like, oh god. I get home, it's like a Niagara Fall remake. It's awful, and it's pure white.
Oh, wow.
Because you have to shit out the barrier.
Yeah.
You can't digest it.
Why?
Because you can't digest it.
Why?
It's like bad for you. It's like just chalk. So, and then I got my stomach scanned, and I was surprised to find it's all good.
Oh, good.
So I find
So you went through weak mindset.
You went through all
I
that.
think it's my colon. Got a colon scan.
Oh, time to go colonoscopy.
Well,
then, eh?
yeah.
Oh,
Time to shove a camera up your
Yeah.
ass. Then.
Clearly, you didn't do everything.
have you done the
because
colonoscopy yet, you guys?
No.
You're
Not
getting
an
there,
endoscopy.
Huh?
though. Ooh.
That's disgusting.
What's an endoscopy?
Well, they put
Well,
like a
shove it down your
thick
throat.
cable down your mouth.
Oh, I think I
Into your
need to
throat.
do that actually.
Well,
Wait, what
yeah.
age is it mandatory in Japan to do colonoscopy?
40, 45,
I'm
something
going to be gone by that point.
like that. The cholesterol will get
2
me.
days before my birthday. Get on the British Airways flight. Get me out of
I
here.
think it's in your 40s, I believe. 50.
Oh, good.
Many countries recommend that everyone should have their first colonoscopy by age 50. Okay.
Wait.
Oh, the
age is-
CDC says 45. There you go. I was
The
right.
NHS
Alright.
recommends 35, but only for high risk inherited. I don't
Well,
know.
35 for you then, eh?
Don't get an endoscopy though. It's fucking awful.
You have to have anesthesia, right, for a colonoscopy, right?
Yeah,
They
but
have to,
I
like,
went.
put you
I
out.
used to have I went to the worst doctor in Sendai, and he had like one from like 1965.
Oh my god.
And like these days, it's a fiber optic cable and it goes up your nose, and it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that bad actually.
How many times have you done it?
I did. Well, I did this one time, and I've never forgotten it. It was unspeakably shit. It was like the worst thing I've ever had to do. Yeah, I had like some stomach ulcers. I was going. It was like 5-6 years ago. Lots of stomach ulcers. I was like, I need to check this out. And he was like, on endoscopy there, let's go. And this doctor's like, it's the doctor's so bad it doesn't exist now. It got shut down for reasons.
That's a good sign.
But they put me in like this broom cupboard. Literally a broom cupboard. It wasn't like a special operating room. It was like a broom cupboard, like the trash taste where you keep the merchandise room.
Yeah.
With like a chair, like a table in it that you lay down on. And I laid down on it and he was like, drink this. Like coat your back of your throat and make it numb. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Drank it. It didn't really work. I don't know what happens, but it didn't work. Ooh. And then he brings in what looks like a snake. Like a rope used to fasten a fucking boat to a port. And I'm like, that. I thought, it's got to be a fiber optic cable. Yeah. I didn't know. If I'd known it was going to be like a rope, I would have been like, let's cancel the endoscopy. I'll just die. Like, and then they put a mouthpiece in. Oh. It's like Hannibal Lecter. Silence of the Lambs fucking shit. Yeah. And they put it in your mouth. And then the mouthpiece has a hole in it. Yeah. And they stick it in the hole. Oh. And you're like, oh! And the idea behind the thing that numbs your throat is you're not supposed to feel it. But I felt everything.
Oh my god.
And it went. I gagged continuously for 25 minutes.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
And it went down my esophagus into my stomach, and they've got like a live feed on a TV screen like this.
Yeah.
So I'm laying here, TV screen there, and I didn't want to fucking look at my insides.
Yeah.
So I'm like literally like gagging for 25 minutes, covering my eyes.
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's in your esophagus, just there," and I'm like, pushing it in. Further and further, giving like a running commentary. He's like, lower intestine down there. And I'm like, and like, and so he took the photo. So he's supposed to take like 5 or 6 photos, right?
Yeah.
You know, so he gets the photos and he pulls it out like a anchor on a ship coming up or something.
I'm like a dot matrix printer. It's like,
Yeah.
And you can feel like, and it comes out, and it's like, and like the people in the waiting room, they must have been traumatized. There's like 10 people in the waiting room, and they would have heard everything.
Yeah.
And even the doctor, the guy, and his assistant, I think even they were like, try to relax. I'm like, how the fuck can I relax? You put a Shinkansen down my throat. How the fuck can I relax? And then one of the pictures came out, and then they went, no printer paper. And they fucking run out of paper. So they're like, nearly all the photos, they were like,
It's like unusable.
and there was no memory. It wasn't like it didn't use like memory. So it was like it needs to come out directly from the printer there and then.
No.
And he was like, I remember him go in the corner. I was like, no. And he was like, maybe one more. And I was like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Luckily, the one photo looked all right. He
Yeah.
just said I had like an inflamed stomach or something. He said like, your stomach acid very strong. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, you
So
also
like,
shrunk some
but that's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing. Yo, my stomach acid
man,
built
it's
the chair.
Stomach acid I've seen.
Oh,
Your stomach acid
be
lives.
careful how much cheese you eat. That's all I'm saying.
There are
'Cause
a
that
lot of
shit-
very sketchy doctor's offices here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There really
yeah.
is.
So many
Yeah.
weird ones.
I
I'm like,
walked into one last year when I was getting checked up where the doctor straight up was just smoking a cigarette in the room. That he was.
That's kind of badass though.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, I thought that for the first 2 seconds, and then I was like, wait a second.
He's working too hard to go out for a smoke break.
I
He
guess
just
so.
cares too much about
But
his
this dude
cigarettes.
was like 80 years old, and he was
Oh.
just like, what seems to be the problem? And I was like,
No, because
yeah,
you know
I
he
gotta,
come up with some like fucking barbaric treatment. He's like, well,
No.
it looks like you're
So
gonna
that's what
amputate it.
happened. So like, I sat down. I was like, I've got like some lower back pain. So like, can you like get it checked
Remove the
out?
disc.
Take out your spine. No, so his way of testing it out was like, okay, take your shirt off, as he was fucking putting out a cigarette.
Take your pants off. What is this?
Just grabs my balls. Is like, now cough. No, he literally just takes his fist and just goes boom.
What the fuck?
in my lower spine. I'm like, ow, that hurt. And he was like, did that hurt? I was like, yeah, it fucking hurt. You just punched me in the spine. And he was like, okay, you're fine then. It's like, that'll be 1,200 yen, please.
I
It's
don't
like,
know. I mean, this isn't an isolated
had
incident.
bad
I've been to
doctor's
several
experience,
bad doctors. One time I had a bad throat, and he looked inside my throat, and he recoiled in horror. I had like a throat infection, so it was very sore. He went,
Yeah.
"Oh!" And like nearly fell off the chair. I'm like, you must have seen a bad throat before, right? Yeah. And then he, without saying anything, he got out a notepad and crayons and drew my throat silently. And I was sitting there like, am I going to die? This is what's happened here. And he went, this, your throat. And it was just like a bespoke drawing of just a big piece of red. He just got like a red crayon. It's gone like
my
this.
God.
Like, what is this? Just give me some tablets. Let me be done.
I've been stuck in referral hell currently. I've been trying to get like just to have a doctor look at something, but because I have hemophilia, they all want to know the opinion of a hemophilia doctor.
Sure.
So I went to this one doctor who was recommended. So I had to get so in Japan they have this ancient system where you can only go see a doctor at another hospital
If they refer you.
if they refer you. Found out that even within the same hospital, to go and see a different department, you need a referral from whoever the fuck sent you.
Yeah.
So I've been back and forth between like 4 hospitals now, trying to figure out, hey, can someone just like have a look? And they're like, sorry. So anyway, I go to the first doctor. And I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm diagnosed with this thing. Here's all my information. He's like, what the fuck do you want me to do then? I was like, well, I don't have any of this shit in Japanese, and I need all this stuff in Japanese written down in case there's like an emergency. So I would like if you can just test me or whatever the fuck you need to do, or just write down everything in Japanese. Because I need a doctor to do it. He was like, fuck off. I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay. He was like, get out. He was basically like, just don't waste my time.
Yeah,
I was like,
really?
I was like, damn. So
What the fuck?
and he was the senior blood doctor at this hospital. So I booked another doctor at the hospital, and I was like, hey, can I, so I had to come back another day. It's pretty far. Our hospitals are always out of the way.
Yeah.
So I go back again, and I'm like, hey, can I just want to get all this translated into Japanese. I need all this information. So if I need surgery in Japan, all the information is here in Japanese.
Yeah.
So they have it all. And she's like, yeah, cool. So this seems like a pretty specialized disease. So you're going to have to go to a different hospital. I was like,
Oh my
What?
God.
what?
Jesus Christ.
So I was like, okay. So I went to the other hospital, and they were great. They were like, yep, don't worry, we got you. We'll have you written down. She's like, do you want like, and in Japan, they always ask you, I've never had this in the UK. They're like, do you want the cheap thing or the expensive thing? I was like, the expensive thing? She's like, one of them works for 12 hours. The other one works for 2 days. I was like, the 2-day one. Because there's like different clotting factors for your blood.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take the good one. My life is on the line. Presumably
Yeah.
I'll have the one that saves me.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So can I go to the other department to get this thing checked out? She's like, you got to go back to the original doctor who recommended you to the first hospital to get another referral letter to come to our hospital, but the other department. I was like, but I'm here right now. Can you just like tell them I can? They're like, no. So I had to go back to the first doctor who I hadn't been to for months. I was like, hey, I need another referral. She was like, what? She's like, I've already given you 2.
It's like a
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls quest.
And I'm like, I just want to get this thing
Skyrim.
checked out.
It's easy to get a letter from Buckingham Palace, apparently.
I think getting in the Buckingham Palace is easier than getting a fucking doctor to check something. So I've been on this quest for about a year now, just trying to get this like.
Jesus, and you still haven't got it.
No, still
What
haven't
the
got it.
fuck?
I mean, yeah, if I had a serious health issue, I'd be like, I'm going somewhere else.
Which made me think, I was like, should I just go to like the UK or America and just get it done?
Well, I mean,
Think
it's
it-
like Charlotte with the thyroid, right? One of her
can't get
thyroids
shit done
just stopped
here.
working, and we went to some doctors here. It was awful. I went to one in Sendai with her, and she went in. She came out really upset. I was like, what did he say? The guy literally went, oh, maybe thyroid cancer. Come back in 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's
And I was
ridiculous.
like, what?
What?
This needs to be acted on now. And it
Yeah.
was like horrendous. And so in the end, she went to, luckily, got to America to get the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
Japan
it's
doesn't really
expensive,
know what
so
to do
you
with
will, but,
thyroid.
you know.
Thyroid stuff in Japan is like medieval chemistry.
Yeah.
They
It's
made me
like-
sign up to a subscription service where I had to pay. I had to pay $100 a month because I have a rare disease. They have some rare disease coverage in Japan. Because the government will like take all your samples and do tests on it, but you'll never be asked to pay more than like $100 for anything ever.
Jesus.
But I was like, this is weird.
That
Why am I?
sounds like a scam.
Well,
Yeah,
no. So I
you've
pay
been done,
$100 a
mate.
month,
You've been
but
done.
because normally the medicine, I think like the factor rate medicine, I think it's a couple of grand if you want to get a shot. of it.
Right.
But also, at the same time, I was like, I don't want a subscription service, and I don't think I'm going to be in hospital that often for this. So if I need that one-time 5K shot, just give me the 5K.
Yeah.
Like, I'll
Don't even think about going to a
just
doctor.
go bankrupt. I'd
a
rather
doctor
go-
in Japan for mental health.
Oh my
And a
God.
friend of mine went in
Like
with
the
depression, and the doctor went, "You should be more happy." It's like, depression is solved.
Oh my God.
It only took this long.
I think the Japan
should
medical
be
system,
more
from
happy.
from my experience, it's very good if you have a routine problem.
Yeah.
If you have something that is very normal to be fixed very
Yeah.
easily, it's great because they'll get it
I was
done.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I got a sore back, or I got
Right,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I have a bit of a
it'll be
cough,
fantastic.
or I have a
But
bit of
the
a thing.
moment there's like a complication or a little bit of
Yeah.
difficulty, it just feels like the system isn't built for it. It's just like collapses. They're like, sorry.
Because it's outside the protocol a lot
they're
of the
like,
times.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, you have mental health. Take a bath.
I remember one time when I was a teacher, one day for some reason I had really bad heart palpitations, and I was like, something wrong with my heart? And my teachers were like, "You're young, don't worry." I'm like, I know I'm young, but people
do die.
Yeah,
under
yeah.
30 can still die.
Yeah.
And we went to the doctors, and they didn't really take it seriously.
No.
But they did. Eventually, they did scan it, and I don't know what was wrong that day. I just had really bad heart palpitations.
Well, the same thing happened
Too
when
much
like
cheese,
yeah,
Camembert.
Camembert.
could
The
think of it.
Camembert palpitations.
yeah. Well, the same thing happened when like Aki, had that like kidney problem, and we went to like a nearby clinic and we did a blood test, just to see like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much bacteria was in the blood. And we got it back the next day, and the clinic was like, yeah, so it's like kind of bad. We can refer you to a big hospital if you want. And I was like, yes, please. I don't want to risk anything. So we got the referral, immediately went to the hospital, the bigger hospital nearby. And the doctor was like, okay, I see the referral. Let me do a blood check. Does the blood check. An hour later, he comes back and he's like, yeah, you're going to have to stay in this hospital because any higher than this, you're going to die. And I was like, hang on a second. The clinic doctor was like, oh, yeah, it could get better sometime, I guess. And now you're telling me she was about to die? Like,
it's very frustrating because I feel like unless you're kind of a bit of a Karen, you kind of don't get what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll hear stories where like if someone doesn't like really like I need this, the doctor will be like, oh, sure, good night.
I remember.
If you say so.
I remember talking to American Pete when he had appendicitis.
Oh my god,
and it was like hearing what he was going through. They didn't give him painkillers. And my friend had appendicitis. So apparently it's the most like painful thing you can experience. And in the UK it's like, here's some morphine. Let's get. And he had nothing.
Oh, there's like a million stories on Reddit of people having to like beg for like stronger painkillers.
He was in pure agony, poor old Pete. And like
they just don't believe in like painkillers. Like, come on, stay.
Take the pain.
Come on, stay.
Like,
which is like the most terrifying word or phrase you can hear. It's the most terrifying phrase you can hear from a doctor. Just
bear with it.
Through.
Just bear with it. Bear with it. You got it. You got it.
I think Japan's like that because of all the natural disasters they sort of have
it like makes like getting old in Japan a little scary because you're like, the more health problems I have, the more I don't want to be here.
It's a fucking miracle there are this many old people in Japan.
I think because they just don't get
about it that way.